Hi, I'm Sarai. I work my butt off as an accountant at a firm downtown, which is how I afford the three-bedroom house Mark and I live in. We've been married for 3 years now, and we have this arrangement. I handle the mortgage and utilities, while he covers groceries, car payments, and our vacations. It works for us, or at least it did until my mother-in-law decided our house was basically hers. You know Diane means well. She just gets carried away sometimes. That's what Mark always says whenever his mom crosses a line, which happens at least twice a week. Last Tuesday, I was having coffee with my best friend Jessica when she got this weird look on her face while scrolling through her phone. "What's up? You look like you just saw a ghost." "Nothing, just, weren't you out of town last weekend for that work conference?" "Yeah, why?" She hesitated. "Didn't Mark go with you?" "No, he stayed home to finish that project for his boss. Said he couldn't afford to take time off." Jessica slid her phone across the table. "Then who are all these people at your house?" I grabbed her phone and there it was. My living room decked out with Christmas decorations I'd never seen before. A huge tree in the corner that definitely wasn't there when I left. And there was Mark, smiling with his arm around his mother, Diane, who was wearing that smug look she gets when she's won something. Emma, Mark's sister, was there with her husband. Even Tom, Mark's brother who lives 3 states away, was sitting on my couch drinking from my special occasion wine glasses. When was this posted? Yesterday. Emma tagged everyone. I scrolled through more photos. 20-something people, all having a Christmas party in my house, in December, while I was at a mandatory conference freezing my ass off in Chicago. I don't understand. Mark never mentioned a party. You didn't know about it? Does it look like I knew? Later that day, I called Tom directly. We've always gotten along better than I do with Emma. "Hey, Sarai, how's it going? Great seeing Mark this weekend." "Yeah, about that. What was going on at my house?" "The Christmas party? Diane said you couldn't make it because of work stuff, but told us to come anyway. Said you were cool with it." My blood was boiling. "And you didn't think it was weird I wasn't invited to a party at my own house? Diane said you knew—" "Wait, you didn't know?" "No, Tom, I had no idea." That night, I waited for Mark to get home, scrolling through more pictures. There was Diane in my kitchen using my special occasion dishes. Diane directing people where to put gifts. Diane sitting in my spot at the head of the table. And not a single text from my husband about any of it. When I heard his key in the lock, I felt sick. How do you even begin to ask your husband why you weren't invited to a Christmas party in your own house? Mark walked in, tossed his keys on the counter, and froze when he saw me sitting there with my phone. "Hey, babe, didn't expect you to still be up." I turned my phone screen toward him. "Care to explain this?" His face fell. "Oh, you saw the pictures." "A Christmas party, Mark? In our house? That I wasn't invited to?" "It wasn't like that. Mom just wanted to have a small family gathering while you were away." "Small? There are 20 people in these photos, and why didn't you tell me?" Mark sat down, keeping the coffee table between us like a shield. "Mom thought it would stress you out before your conference. She said she'd handle everything." "And you didn't think I'd want to know people were partying in my house? Using my things?" "Come on, they're family." "Your family, who apparently had a whole Christmas celebration without me, in my house that I pay for?" Mark ran his hands through his hair. "Look, Mom organized it. She wanted a family Christmas like we used to have before, well, before you." "Before me, so I was deliberately excluded?" His silence was all the answer I needed. The next morning, I went through our mail and found something strange. A water bill nearly double our usual amount. When I called the utility company, the customer service rep sounded confused. "Ma'am, are you aware you have 2 active accounts?" "2 accounts? That's impossible. We have your main residence account, but there's also one for pool maintenance and additional outdoor usage started 3 months ago. Both under Sarai Mitchell. I never opened a second account, and we definitely don't have a pool." The second account was authorized by Diane Mitchell. She's listed as an authorized user on both accounts. My hands were shaking as I hung up. I immediately called Tom. "Hey, Sarai, about yesterday. Has your mom been using my house for other parties?" A long pause. You really don't know any of this, do you? Know what, Tom? Mom's been hosting family gatherings at your place for months. She has a key and everything. She told everyone you were fine with it, but preferred not to attend because you're… Well, because I'm what? She says you think our family isn't good enough for you, that you only married Mark for his potential, and that you're embarrassed by us. My stomach dropped. That's complete bullshit. I figured. Mom can be creative with the truth when it suits her. After hanging up with Tom, I called my friend Jessica, who works at the bank. Can you check something for me? I think someone's been opening accounts in my name. 20 minutes later, Jessica called back. You need to get down here. There's a lot more going on than just utilities. I spent the next 3 hours discovering Diane had somehow managed to get herself added to multiple accounts, not just utilities, but also streaming services, meal delivery, even a landscaping service I never authorized. All linked to my credit card or bank account. When I got home, I started going through our security camera footage from the past few months. There she was, Diane, letting herself into my house when no one was home. Not once or twice, but at least twice a week. And then I found it. Footage of Diane hosting what looked like her book club. In my living room, while I was at work, using my good china and drinking my wine. The timestamp? Just last Tuesday. I spent the weekend documenting everything. Every unauthorized party, every bill, every account. By Sunday, I had a binder of evidence and texted Mark that we needed to talk, but he was busy helping his mom with something. Typical. Monday morning, I drove to Diane's house. Her car was in the driveway, along with Mark's. Oh, it's you. Mark's in the kitchen. Actually, I'm here to talk to you, Diane. I dropped the binder on her coffee table with a thud. This is a record of every time you've used my house without permission, every unauthorized account, every dollar spent. Diane didn't even glance at it. Don't be so dramatic. Family shares things. We're not sharing. You're stealing. It's my son's house, too. A house I pay for, with utilities I pay for. Mark picked up the binder. Mom, what is she talking about? Nothing important. Your wife is just being territorial again. Territorial? You opened accounts in my name? I was helping organize your messy finances. Someone had to step in. I turned to Mark. Did you know about this? He flipped through the pages, face growing pale. No. I knew Mom had a key, but not about all this. She's turning this into something ugly, Diane interrupted. If you make a big deal about this, you'll only push the family away. Nobody likes a drama queen, Sarai. Is that a threat? It's a fact. Who do you think they'll believe? The woman who's been part of this family for 30 years, or the outsider who's always too busy working to show up? I left and drove straight to Jessica's bank. This is beyond identity theft, Jessica said. You've got a solid case for financial abuse. We can freeze all these accounts immediately. Do it. And I need information on how to legally restrict someone from accessing property they don't own. Later, I met Emma for coffee. Surprisingly, she was already on my side. Mom's been doing this for years. She did the same thing to Tom's wife until they moved 3 states away. That's the real reason they left. Why didn't anyone tell me? We thought you knew. Mom told everyone you two had an understanding. That evening, I called a locksmith and had every lock changed. I upgraded our security system with motion alerts sent directly to my phone. I contacted every company Diane had set up and shut down the accounts one by one. Then I made a list of every bill Diane had put in my name without permission. Electric, water, gas, internet, streaming services, meal deliveries, lawn care. I smiled as I formed my plan. Diane thought she could use my house, my money, my life. I was about to show her exactly what happens when you mess with an accountant who knows how to follow the money. The next day, I executed my plan. I called every single company and canceled all services connected to Diane's unauthorized accounts. Then I contacted the bank and had Diane removed as an authorized user on everything. 3 days later, Diane called me fuming. What did you do? My water's been shut off, and my cable, and my internet. I simply reclaimed what's mine. Those weren't your accounts to begin with. You spiteful little. See you at Emma's birthday dinner tonight. Can't wait to catch up. I hung up while she was still yelling. Emma's birthday dinner was at her favorite restaurant downtown. I made sure to arrive early with a special folder tucked in my purse. When Diane stormed in 30 minutes late, her hair was unwashed and she looked frazzled. There she is, I called out cheerfully. Having utility troubles, Diane? You know exactly what I'm dealing with, she hissed, sliding into her seat. Tom raised an eyebrow. What's going on? Nothing, Diane snapped. Just a misunderstanding. Actually, I said, pulling out my folder, it's not a misunderstanding at all. I have copies for everyone. I passed out documents showing every unauthorized account Diane had opened using my information, complete with dates and amounts. Emma flipped through hers. Mom, you did all this? It wasn't like that, Diane insisted. I was helping Mark and Sarai manage their household. By throwing parties in our house when I wasn't home? By opening accounts in my name without permission? Mark finally spoke up. Mom, this has to stop. You can't keep doing this. Doing what? Being a good mother? Taking care of my family? This isn't taking care, Tom said. This is controlling. And it's exactly why Melissa and I moved away. Diane looked around the table, realizing she was losing control. Mark, are you really going to let her turn your family against me? Mark took my hand. You turned us against you all by yourself, Mom. Sarai is my family too, and you've been treating her terribly. I did nothing wrong. You committed identity theft, Jessica chimed in. Sarai could press charges if she wanted to. Diane's face went white. You wouldn't. I won't, I said calmly. On one condition. You give back your key to our house, you stay out of our financial affairs, and you apologize, publicly, to everyone you lied to about me. 2 weeks later, Diane sent a group email admitting she'd misrepresented my feelings about family gatherings and had used my house without proper permission. It wasn't exactly heartfelt, but it was something. Mark and I had 3 long talks about boundaries. He finally understood why his mother's behavior was unacceptable, and for the first time, he was enforcing limits with her. We hosted a proper housewarming party a month later, one where I was actually present. Diane was invited, but declined to come. Emma told me later that Diane's book club friends had stopped speaking to her after learning she'd been lying about having permission to host them at my house. These days, Diane calls before visiting, which isn't often. Mark meets her for lunch every other week without me, which is perfectly fine. And our house? It's finally just ours again. What would you have done in Sarai's position? Was she right to go nuclear and cancel all the bills? Or should she have tried a more gentle approach first? Where do you draw the line between supporting family and protecting yourself from toxic behavior? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever had to deal with a boundary-crossing family member? How did you handle it? If you enjoyed this revenge story, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories just like this one. Turn on notifications so you never miss our next upload. Thanks for watching.